Hey guys, welcome back to Historically Fashioned. I'm Annie, and this is Friday Sews for Friday, March 14th? March 14th, 2025. If you want to see what I have been up to in my sewing endeavors, hear a little bit about what has been going on in my life, and see what my plans are for hopefully the upcoming week. Stick around, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So I have actually made notes this week, so hopefully things will be a little less chaotic than they were last week, and hopefully I can pare down the length and make this a little bit shorter and maybe not blab on so much. So first thing I'd like to do is say thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating this hashtag and allowing us all to use it to share our sewing journeys with everyone. And before I forget, let's go ahead and I'll show you a picture of what I'm wearing. Today is actually, this is very great for So Frugal month of March. I am wearing the O'Neill blouse on the top. That is a pattern from Pauline Alice Patterns. Love this pattern. I've made a couple of them. Again, it is, at least at the time that I downloaded and made this was a free pattern. And I've made two, and I can get this pattern out of a yard of fabric, which is amazing. And then I am also wearing on the bottom, I'm wearing the picnic skirt from Charm Sewing Patterns. Again, this is a free pattern, more of like a free recipe for a skirt, and I love this skirt. I use it to teach my friends how to sew. I think it's a great one. It's got some great basic skill builders, sewing straight lines, doing some gathering, putting some buttonholes in. I show them how to use an automatic buttonholer, so it's not too scary. And, you know, putting on a waistband. So, yeah, I really love this pattern. It's great. Of course, I will link both of those below. Moving on, I have not had as much time in my sewing room as I had hoped this week. Things got a little bit busy. So I'm going to kind of start with a life update and kind of let you know what's been going on there as an explanation as to why I didn't get to sewing. So yeah, like I said, things got really busy last week. After filming my last week's video and getting it edited and put up, I was just beat, and I had some issues with my software, and it just took a really long time, and I was super frustrated. So not a good frame of mind to be sewing. So I didn't do any sewing, excuse me, or cutting out then. I've learned my lesson on that one many, many times to not cut out while I'm upset. So I did not do that. Saturday we were busy with friends, so I didn't get any sewing done then. Sunday I did do some cutting out. I managed to cut out my Sally Slater dress, as well as get my Harry Potter zip front dress cut out, and my Lady McElroy boat neck dress. I got all of those cut out, but I haven't started sewing. I started sewing Sally, but I have not started on any of the others. I did not get my So Frugal dress cut out, and we will talk about that in a minute. So that was kind of my weekend gone. I did do some sewing Monday and Tuesday on Sally. The bell dress is kind of an involved make, and I really wanted to take my time and make sure that I, you know, got everything lined up perfectly. So I was not rushing through that. I'll show you progress on that in a couple of minutes. So I did do a little bit of sewing there Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I had a Zoom seminar that I went to, so that took up a good chunk of the day. My daughter had to take my daughter to music lessons in the afternoon, so that took up a chunk of the day. So I just had a small amount of sewing time that day. I think I managed to get the sleeves onto Sally that day. Yesterday, which was Thursday, I had to go take a test for a job that I'm applying to, so that took all morning. And then after I finished the test, I popped over to Joann's. So I wanted to see what was going on over there and pick up a couple things before they are gone forever. And then I had to pick my daughter up from class. So that was kind of the morning, early afternoon gone. And then I spent the hour or two that I had at home making some bias tape for Sally. And then my daughter had a concert that evening. So we didn't get home last night until close to like 11 o'clock, I think. So I'm pretty tired today. I had a hard time waking up. And then now it's Friday, so I have gotten up. Took a while to get out of bed this morning. Started filming. I think this is the third time I'm trying to film this because I went off the rails a couple of times. And like I said, I have notes. I'm trying to be more organized and not go off the rails and condense this a little bit and not make you sit through half an hour of me blathering on about nothing. So that is kind of my explanation as to why I've not gotten much sewing done. But let's kind of talk about Joann's. So I went there, like I said yesterday. I knew I wasn't going to buy any fabric because the sale is just not good enough for me to be spending money on Joann's fabric. There's a reason Joann's going out of business. No one needs that much fleece. They have quilting cottons and they have basically polyester. I like the quilting cottons because those are fun for making, fun kind of kitschy vintage style dresses. So I do like those. But if they're only 40% off right now, that's not as good as some of the sales, and like the licensed fabrics are only 20% off, so that's definitely not as good as some of the coupon sales they've had in the past. So I knew I wasn't going to buy fabric. I did want to check to see if they had any interfacing left. I like to buy the woven and the kind of weft interfacings. I don't like the non-wovens that are that kind of papery stuff. They had no interfacing. Well, they did have some like garbagey, interfacing that you would not use. Okay, I say garbagey. That's kind of harsh. They don't have the interfacing that I would choose to use in my sewing garments. They did have some craft interfacing left, but all of the good stuff was gone. Of course, all the threads were gone. Everything was really picked over. The only thing they had left really was embroidery threads. And I've got a whole wall of embroidery thread behind you. I do not need more of that. But I did pick up some notions. So let's kind of go through the things I picked up. So the first thing I picked up was zippers. Lots and lots of zippers. Oh gosh, sorry. That probably made a horrible noise. Lots and lots of zippers. So obviously I am in love with that zip front dress, and I have many, many more planned. So I wanted to get some more zippers. I do have some, and I do have a good source for like zippers secondhand, which is great. But I figured while I was there, I might as well pick up what they had in colors that I would use and lengths that I would use. So I picked up some of those. I picked up some invisible zips as well because I do have some dresses planned that unfortunately have invisible zips. So I did pick up some of those. And then I picked up some really cute buttons. Now, not buttons for like sewing on to actually like close your garments, but like cute buttons. So for my Disney, dress wardrobe, I decided that I wanted to do kind of like a hidden Mickey kind of thing going on with them and put little buttons, on my dress. So I have some in my stash. I have a box of buttons over here that I've bought for that purpose. But they had one more card of these, which are these super cute, just sparkly Mickey heads. So I picked those up because they were the last one, and I was like, you can never go wrong with Mickey buttons. I picked up the last pack of these Mickey buttons that are just fun kind of ice cream colors. I do have another package of these. I don't know if they're this color or if they're a different color. I think mine have pink or something. But I did pick up these because, again, cute. Need those. And then I picked up these just because they were cute and I needed to have it. So these are just some sewing room theme buttons. You can see there is a Singer-esque sewing machine. There's a little dress form. There is a kitty cat, because as far as I'm concerned, no sewing room is complete without a kitty cat. Yeah, and so I just thought those were cute. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they're cute. So here we are. Then I picked up a couple of other types of notions. I picked up some I've never used. I think the Fabony brand, I think, is actually Joann's brand. And I've never used their stuff, but it was on sale, and this is stuff that I would actually use in my room. So hopefully they're good. So this is just the wash away quilters tape. So it's basically a two-sided tape that you can use to, stick your, like if you're doing patch pockets or appliques or something, you can use that to stick it onto your garment. That way you don't have to use pins, and it's a little more accurate because you don't get that, that bubble line that a pin makes, and then it just washes away when you wash your garment. So I picked up some of that. There are 2 rolls in here. So yeah, I picked up that. It was inexpensive. And then I have planned, if I can get sewing faster, I have planned to make some linen slips to go under my dresses for while we're in Florida. So I did pick up 2 of these packages of lingerie strap findings. There are 3 sets in each one, a black, a white, and a clear. So I have 6 sets altogether. So I picked those up. And then I'm always on the search for marking tools. I am one of those weird people who doesn't love a friction pen because I press a lot in my sewing process and the friction marks just go away. So I actually prefer water-soluble pens, and I do use them a lot. So again, the Fabony brand, they had these. I have never used these before, so I picked up actually 3 packages. Obviously, I've already opened these ones here. And they are just a, blue one for, lighter colored fabrics and a white one for dark colored fabrics. Now, these actually have like a brush tip on them, which I have not seen on my water-soluble pens before. And so I did try these out yesterday, and they worked really well. They erased nicely, which I appreciate, and the marks were really clear, and they did not spread out and bleed all over the fabric. The white one, I was like, wait, but I can't see that the tip is turning white. I don't know if you can see that it's kind of like that orangey yellow color. But when I used this on a dark fabric, it actually did mark white. It takes a minute, like looks like it's not doing anything, and then the white shows up. It's pretty interesting. And it erased fine, so I was really happy with that. And then the last marking product I got was the wax-free tracing paper. I use this stuff all the time. Typically, I think the one I use is like the Clover brand or whatever, but they had this, and so I bought this. I do have some other tracing paper, but it's got wax in it, so it has the opposite problem when you press, and the marks become permanent. So I prefer the chalk kind. So that's everything I picked up at Joann's. Let's talk about what I have accomplished as far as sewing goes. Like I said, I was able to cut out those dresses. I've got my Harry Potter zip front dress cut out. I've got my boat neck dress cut out. I did decide to go with a different skirt, so let me see if I can show you what that looks like. Hold on one second. Let me get my book out here. So I decided that instead of going with a paneled gathered skirt like the book suggests, that I wanted more of an A-line skirt, but I wanted some extra fullness to it. So I decided to use the side pleated skirt. So this is out of Gertie's Ultimate Dress Books. The great thing about these books is the patterns are pretty much all interchangeable. So you can change, one bodice to a skirt to a sleeve, and they should all work together. So this is the sailor dress, which I do actually want to make at some point. And the skirt here is like an A-line skirt, but it's pleated at the waist. So I think that'll look really nice with the boat neck dress. So I'm really excited about that. So I've got that all cut out in my Lady McElroy fabric that has all the balloons on it. And hopefully that test goes well. And then I can get started on some Disney dresses with that. So that's kind of everything that I was able to actually cut out. I did try to cut out my So Frugal dress. So I was going to use the Grecian Goddess sundress here, which I really like the look of, and I may eventually see if I can play around and get this to work out. Now, I want to preface this by saying this is a free pattern. I make patterns myself. I know it's hard work. It's especially hard work when you're not just making it for your size and you're grading it out into other sizes. That's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time and effort. And I really, really appreciate when designers make their patterns available for purchase, but especially when they make it available for free. So I don't want anyone to take this as me complaining or bashing the pattern. This was just my experience in the moment. And like I said, I may eventually spend some time with it and see if I can get it to work for me, because I really do like it. I think it's a really cute summer dress. And if I can get the pattern to work out, I would love to make it. So I was in my cutting out spree. I was using my projector for this one. I uploaded it to, uploaded the pattern file. I calibrated my projector. I stitched the pattern together, and I just couldn't get the lines of the pattern to match up. I spent about an hour with it, and then I just got frustrated and annoyed, and decided I was going to, forget this, I'm just going to print it out. I was convinced it was something that I was doing because I'm pretty new to projector sewing, so I'm sure it was me. And so I printed it out, and I went to stick it together, and I realized that it's not me. It's the way the pattern pieces line up. Now, I didn't even finish sticking this all together because I got super annoyed with it. Can you see? I don't know if you can see here. Let me hold this because it's not taped together very well because it's been kicking around my sewing room at this point. Can you see here at the top, there's this jog, right? Where that's the way I could get these lines here to match up. So that didn't work out so well. And then if you can look at, I don't know if you can see the intersection there, nothing, everything has a different size margin. There's no margins printed on the pattern. Let me turn it around. You might be able to see it a little bit better. Let's see. So you can see, maybe you can see that this is much wider than this. They don't meet. There's that jog again. And so I just could not get this to work. And by then I was just so annoyed, and I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm not going to do it. Again, I don't want anyone to take this as me dissing the pattern designer, because that is not it at all. I know how much work it is to make something like this. So I may, like I said, try this again. I think I'll print it out again and see if, instead of assembling it this way, I might cut out around each piece individually and then tape it together. But it's going to take a little bit of work, and I just don't have that kind of time this month. So I'm going to switch gears and try something different. So I went, after utterly failing at that, I went and started to look at other patterns. So I went to my two favorite sites for free patterns. The first site is Tiana's Closet. She has a plethora of patterns. They come in, a fairly decent size range. She has printed home files, AO files, and some of her newer patterns have even have projector files. So for Tiana's Closet, I picked out the Deborah Empire waist dress. Again, I will insert pictures from the website here. There's no sample sewn up. It's just a computer rendering of the dress. But, it looks like a fairly basic bodice. I love kind of the curve under the bust. And it kind of skims along your waist, your midriff, kind of from your rib cage down, and flares out over the hips. So I thought that one was cute. So I may do that one, and I may use the same fabric that I had chosen for that Grecian dress. So that's just this, really pretty mood cotton wall. So I may use that fabric still. Depends on whether I can get the pattern pieces on there, because the one thing about Tiana's closet is she doesn't typically give fabric requirements. She just says, you know, find your size, lay it out, see how much fabric you need. I totally get that. I totally understand that. And this is just not going quickly at all. I'm already 20 minutes in. I'm so sorry. So the measurements for this one, the sizes are from an extra small to 5XL, which equates to a bust of 31.5 inches or 80 centimeters up to 47.2 inches or 122 centimeters. The waist measurement is 23.6 inches or 60 centimeters up to 40.2 or 102 centimeters. And the hip is 34.6 inches or 88 centimeters to 54 inches or 130 centimeters. I think I can probably, like I say, get this dress in my size out of 4 yards. I think for my size, I'm actually like, it would be like a 2X or something. So the sizes are a little strange because I don't feel like a 2X, but hey, here we are. My next dress that I picked out was from Mood Society, and it is the Shirley dress, which is a very vintage inspired dress, super cute with the buttons, you know, closure in the front. It does have an invisible zip in the side, which is not my favorite thing in the world, but I love the kind of puff sleeves with the little, you know, contrasting band. This one does have an excellent size range. Mood Society typically does. I'm just going to say these in inches because we Americans cannot calculate centimeters. I'm sorry. If I remember, I will put the centimeter measurements down below. But I'm kind of scattered, so I apologize in advance if I don't do that. So this one comes in size 2 to 30. That equates to a bust of 32.5 inches up to 58.5 inches, a waist of 24.5 inches to 49.5 inches, and a hip of 36.5 inches to 63 inches. So that is pretty size inclusive. Now they do their fabric requirements based on what fabric was used to make the sample dress. So this one is kind of weird because they used a fabric that comes in panels, and they used 4 panels of the fabric. So this fabric is 55 inches wide by 24.5 inches long. So that puts the length of the fabric somewhere between 5/8 and 3/4 of a yard. So you know, take about 4 yards of fabric is what I would estimate. I'm always, let's buy more, not less. So I was thinking for this one, I could probably kill 3 birds with 1 stone. I could make my So Frugal dress. I could make my what is it called? May the 4th be with you dress for this year. And it could be a backup if I don't finish all of my other planned Disney dresses. So I pulled out of my stash, I think I have 8 yards of this super cute Darth Vader quilting cotton. I love this. I think it's adorable. And I was thinking I could make that dress out of this. I just have, you know, some basic cotton, black cotton in my stash as well that I could make the color and the contrasting bands out of. So I think that that would work. So I think this is kind of what I'm leaning towards, just because it really fits into what I'm kind of into right now, style-wise, and I can hit 3 off my list with one go. And let me just check my list and see if I've done everything. I guess the last thing is, you know, for next week, I think I already said I want to finish my... Oh, Sally! I didn't talk about Sally! Okay, real quick, let's talk about Sally, because we're already now 24 minutes in. So I got mostly finished with Sally, but I was really taking my time with her and did not want to rush and ruin things. I'm typically a fairly lazy sewist, so I'm sorry everything is surged inside. No nice, neat finishes for me. But I managed to get her all put together, sleeves and everything. I've done all of the shirring. So on the sleeves and on the back panel here, that is all done. I've managed to get the skirt the flowers to line up really, really nicely. I matched that well. I'll talk more about alterations and stuff when I finish this. But all I have left is to put the closures on and to hem it. Now, when I made my original toile, I had shortened the pattern significantly, and then it was too short. So then I decided I was going to lengthen the pattern, and I was then now nervous and didn't want it to be too short again. So I actually added on more length than I took off. I think I added like, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches. I don't know what I did. So now I have to shorten it again. If I was just going to wear this, like, it's just like not to Disney World, it would be fine the way it is. It's kind of a midi length. But for Disney, it's warm in Florida. It's humid. I don't want it sticking to my legs down below. So I decided I'm going to chop it off. I let it hang for a while, kind of look at the length and see what I wanted to do. And so I think I'm going to chop it off so it's about 2 inches below my knees. As far as what I'm going to do for closures, I thought about buttons, and I decided I'm going to go with snaps instead so I don't disturb the line. So yeah, that is everything. My battery signal is flashing at me, so I should go. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that this upcoming week is very productive for you and you have a great time sewing. And I hope to see you guys next week here, same time, same place. Well, I don't know about time, so same place, same channel. And if you would like to see that video for next week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there, scooch on over, hit the like button. That way I know that you are enjoying this video, and you can find me on Instagram sometimes. So thank you again so much for watching, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.